Hey, welcome guys. This is Edwin from the future. Now, I want you to imagine this. Imagine that you can make thousands of records in your database with one command line. And I'm talking about random data, just like this. Random names, random email, random phone numbers. And that's exactly what you're gonna be learning on this lecture, so you don't wanna miss it. We have a bunch of data here that we are able to produce this with one command line in our console. It's not even in our code, it's in our console. So as you can see here, I can play around with this data and do whatever I want. We have random data. They're not the same, they're different. You can see that there. Really cool stuff. So you don't want to miss this lecture. I'm gonna leave you with Edwin from the past, and he should be teaching you this stuff right now. I'll see you guys in the future though. So keep tuned on this lecture and learn everything he tells you, because that guy is really awesome. I'll see you guys in the future, and keep tuned on this lecture because you are going to be learning a lot of stuff. Hey, welcome back, my amazing students. This lecture is one of the most important lectures on this course here. Hopefully you guys got to this point. You're gonna learn something super valuable here. So I was looking at our application right here, and we need data. So we're gonna seed the database, but we're gonna do this in a really cool way. We're gonna build a command so that way we can just execute a command on the console here, and we can see the database with whatever data we want. Let's say we want 50 contacts, 100 contacts. It's gonna make it happen in one single line of code, one command, all right? Just like when we do Flask run, just like that. We're gonna do Flask, and we're gonna say seed, something like this, and it's gonna seed the database. And best thing is we're gonna be able to pass some type of option saying, hey, I want 100 records or something like that, and it's gonna do it, all right? So this is gonna be really cool, and let's go ahead and run this. Let me just put debug here just in case. But anyway, let's come back here, and that's it, it's working. And let's come back and create a file here to actually save this command that we're gonna create. So we're gonna call this command actually CLI.py inside the app folder, all right? All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do here is we're gonna import this library called Click. This is a Python library for building command line programs, all right? It's very popular, and it's maintained by the people with Flask, the people that maintain Flask, Jinja, and all these other modules. So it's really cool stuff. All right, so let me make this a little bigger here. And another thing that I want to import is the Faker library that we installed. All right, so I'm gonna import Faker just like this, and I'm gonna make sure that I have it available. So what I'm gonna do in here, I'm gonna close my server and do this, and I'm gonna check my pip, make sure that that's actually there. So you can see that it's actually there. All right, perfect. Okay, another thing that I want here is SQLAlchemy.exe, and we want the integrity error here. Okay, just in case. We want to make sure that we handle that properly, so that way, just in case we make a mistake and try to make a duplicate, or our function makes a duplicate, we take care of it. So let's do extensions here. Let's import the database, and let's also do let's import the model, right? Because we need that. So from models, we're gonna import contact, just like that. All right. So let's register this function here. Let's actually not register, but let's call it register underscore CLI. We're gonna pass the app, okay, to this, and we're gonna do this later, right? It's gonna wait for that. So anyway, let's do a decorator here called app.cli.command. Now, Flask, all right, is using this under the hood. All right, so it's like a wrapper, basically. What we got right now is a wrapper, but it's using this behind the scenes. This is a separate module, but because we're using Flask, Flask has a little wrapper, and we can use some of these options here with decorators and all that stuff. But anyway, we're gonna call it seed. So the command is gonna be called seed, just like I showed you in a couple seconds ago in the console. All right, so the next thing here, let's do the other decorator, click and option, just like that. So here are the options that we want. We want to have an option to put several records in the database. And the flag that we're gonna use is --n. We pass this flag and then we pass how many records we want. By default, I want this app to produce, let's say 30 records, okay? Just in case somebody wants to ask for help for this to see what this actually does, we can say, well, number of contacts to create. So we could pass the help flag and we can actually display this information and describe what we're doing, okay? So we'll see that working in a minute. Let's also create this function here like this. We're gonna pass this n here for the amount of records that we want, all right? So I hope you're paying attention to this. So what we need to do here is create a fake instance, right? So let's do faker. And let's go ahead and do create it. And this, we're gonna keep track of this and we're gonna increment this as we loop around the information or the data. So I'm gonna ignore this, and in range here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna pass the range to be that number that we are getting in this seed function, okay? So we'll grab the model here and we pass all the data we need. So we know we want the name. Now with faker, what we can do is we grab the faker instance and we have this name method here that's gonna produce for us random names, all right? For the email, we can say fake.unique because we want it to be unique. And it's gonna be an email, and then we lowercase all this stuff because we need it for our database. So that way everything is uniformed, all right? And the phone number will be last. So fake.phone number underscore phone number right here, just like that. Okay, so yeah, that works really good. So now let's come back here and let's go and grab the session from the database and add the contact, just like we regularly do in our functionality when we create data, right? Now let's put a try block here, just like we do before. You know, we have to still do our diligence here, like we are creating a record, right? The only thing that we're doing here is we're using faker to produce multiple types of random data, but everything else should stay the same, right? We need to commit, we need to check for integrity and all that stuff, right? So we're gonna try to commit here, just like that. And then here, well, let's go ahead and this variable, we're gonna increment every time we loop around, so that way it keeps doing it. Let's do exception here. And let's pass in the integrity. As a matter of fact, do I have it on top? Yeah. Let's just copy this so I don't have to write this stuff down. Boom. And now here, let's roll back so that way we have no errors. Roll back. All right. So that way we're rolling back, and let's just make this a little smaller right here outside the for loop. I'm gonna grab the click. I'm gonna echo a message. I'm gonna put an F string here just so I can put some variables inside, right? So we're gonna say seeded. We're gonna pass in the created because that's going around, right? We are incrementing this variable, so we can pass that in so we can see what's going on. And we're gonna say we seeded this many contacts, right? Simple as that. Perfect. Now, all we gotta do is go back into the main application in it, right here, right? And then register this. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see where I can actually put this. Let me see. Where's my blueprint? Right here. All right, so what I'm gonna do right below this, I'm gonna put it in there here. So I'm gonna import the CLI file, and I'm gonna import the register CLI from there, okay? And I'm gonna use this register CLI, and I'm gonna pass the app that we're waiting for there, all right? And this should work, okay? So now I don't have any records, so you can see there, here. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually see this without any errors. So let's clear this out, and let's turn on our server, Flask run, and I'm gonna pass the debug here just in case. All righty, perfect, right? And let's double check that nothing has broken. All right, nothing is broken. Let's go ahead and turn that off now. I was just making sure that everything was good, okay? So now we need to actually go ahead and say Flask seed, pass the seed and pass the end, and then pass, let's say, 50 values here. So I don't know if you heard a beep like a couple seconds ago, but my food was actually burning. So anyway, let's try this and let's see if it works. Enter, and it looks like it worked, right? So now let's go ahead and turn on our server, and it looks like that is actually working, right? So we can see something very different here. So that means it's working. Let's go ahead and change what we got on top for the homepage in the routes. We got one record here. I'm gonna put 10 records per page, okay, in the routes. So let's go back here and let's refresh. And now you can see that we have a bunch of random data here. Really cool stuff, guys, right? So look at this. Let's make this a little smaller so that way you guys can see that. Isn't this awesome, right? Let's go ahead and do one more here. Let's produce more records. Let's go ahead and do 200. And that produced just 200, just like that. That's power right there. Isn't that power? Awesome. Let's go ahead and refresh. And you can see now that we got 26 pages of random data. Look at that. That looks a little bit better, right, guys? Awesome stuff. Anyway, guys, that's it for this lecture. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you can give me some likes, I would appreciate that. So that way I know that you liked it. And I'll see you guys on the next following lectures. Take care.